Would the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century? Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Something that had a shape similar to the Warbad dagger? Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright. This shows what really killed the victim. Oh boy. Can we see it here? I mean, kinda. Any other pictures? No. No. The only picture we've got is this one right here. I hope this works.
Take that!
Is this not the photo from the scene of the High Priest's murder? Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein? Okay.
Take that!
But this is the Warbod statue. Exactly. The Warbad statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. This is what really took the victim's life.
Objection!
You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside the hideout. How do you propose it impaled someone who was inside? Haven't you heard? The Warbad statue also functions as the hideout's door. What do you mean? The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. A switcheroo? To put it simply, it's a revolving door. A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He threw his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbod statue was right behind him. This cannot be. But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger. She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it. Wow, well, we could have brought that up, like, at any point before now. Okay. This is a shocking turn of events, but there's a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbad statue was what killed the victim. Now that we know how Acolyte Zealot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth. No, your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so that they can interpret your insights. But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time. Your benevolence, are you unwell? All the color is drained from your face. I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me. As you wish. I feel kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died. Acolyte Zealot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. but only after the Warbot dagger was thrust into him, to make it look like the murder weapon. That does seem to agree with what we now know. But why would the real killer go to such lengths? To frame my client, I believe the stabbing Acolyte Zealot's body with a dagger and moving it to the plaza was a war crime to make it look like a serial murder. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer, instead of just a regular killer. That's right, the real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case. They did? That's it, Nick. Keep hammering on. Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Like those putrid, hole-ridden clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid, hole-ridden brain, has putrefied? What's his deal with things going putrid? You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exploits the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the riot. But Acolyte Zealot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life. When the High Priest arrived at the Inner Sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him. I believe Prosecutor Sadmati has posed a compelling scenario. The defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accusation's guilt, or the accused's guilt. Why would my client move Acolyte Zealot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into the dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things. The dagger in the corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of, Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons. So that is why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see. Now he has the judge convinced too. I thought I'd finally made some headway. Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not? Groans of distress? Kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya. Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so finally know peace. A dead lawyer walking, indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Kurain? But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said the defense reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. But I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death. Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zealot on the day before the riot? Who knew about the rebel hideout and could gain access to the Inner Sanctum? Only those involved with the riot can enter the Inner Sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the rebel's secret hideout. The only person who was involved with the riot had access to the sanctum, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Did somebody come to mind? Yes, except there's one huge problem. A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hall? I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Sadmati will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Pere Zealot's murder. Objection. Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. No, there is one person who knew everything. Does such a figure really truly exist? Tell us, who might that be? I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zealot's murder is... whoa.
Take that!
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum, and who knew of the hideout. And that would be... the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the rite. You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well when they tell no tales? Have you no shame? Dead men tell no tales. That's definitely a problem. Only the High Priest could tell his side of the story. What? Do I have something on my face? Wait a second. Could this actually work? Oh no, don't tell me I have some breakfast caught between my teeth. No, this isn't the slightest possibility. I have to go with it. Your Majesty, dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony. His testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify? There is a way for the dead to testify. It's known as... summon him here by means of spirit channeling. What did you just say? Spirit channeling? Has this lawyer finally gone insane? This is sacrilege. May the Holy Mother strike him down. Peace. I am frankly astonished to even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform. Garan. And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure. I suspected as much. That means our only hope is... oh hey, a mail is gonna get channeled like I wanted. It's okay, Nick. You can tell them. But Maya, I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Kurain. Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts, so I don't think we'll be punished. At least, I hope not. But this is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become a master of Kurain. We don't have any other choice do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming a master of Kurain. Alright, thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits. But even her benevolence, Princess Rafa finds the divination seance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen? That would be me. This is some kind of joke? Okay, even the royal priestess is incapable of such a feat. Peace, peace, I say. Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling? Well, yes. Yes, I can. Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. Your benevolence? This is an outrage. An outrage, I say. First, you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling? Your benevolence speaks the truth. Spirit channeling is a sacred rite. Foreign devils, I say they should be put to death immediately. Still your voices. Barbed head. Spirit channeling is a most sacred and secret arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose? Yes, I am. Your benevolence, are you saying you approve of the use of the spirit channeling? I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot. Very well, then. Your benevolence? What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit? Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits? Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure, as I am responsible for the safety of all present. Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. But I do not fear, for I have a Magatama of parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power. Ah, that is a relief indeed. These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Satmati? Perfectly, Your Benevolence. Very well. The accused may channel the High Priest's spirit. But first we must take a short recess to prepare. We will resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Till then, this court is adjourned. I might as well keep going. Oof. You think you could channel your sister for me, Maya? Sorry, Maya. This was the only way. Sure you're up for this? Thanks for believing in me, Nick. Even though I don't know if my channeling ability is on point yet. Oh, right. Before she started training here, her success rate was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least I hope she can. So you sure you're ready? Oh, yeah. At least I think so. You don't sound so confident. What about all your training? Training's one thing. Actually doing it is another. Oh, I see. Uh-oh. She fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead. Relax, Nick. You can count on me. I'll show you what my training's done for me. This will be a moment you never forget. Okay. I just hope it's unforgettable in a good way. Once we hear Aber Emmy's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light. I hope so, but he was hiding the fact that he was a rebel, so... that'll be as cut and dry as all that. They are ready for you. Please return to the Hall of Justice at once. Okay, Maya, I'm counting on you. You got it. Here we go. We have received official approval for the accused to channel a spirit here today. Now, if you will, Miss Fey, please proceed. Yes, Your Majesty. I can't believe this. Only the Queen should channel spirits. Execute them. Put them to death right now. Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you. I've been studying here in Kurain for 2 years now, so that one day I'll be the master of Kurain, a village of spirit mediums back home. But first, I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom. Wow, she seems really confident. A neophyte practitioner such as you could not possibly channel a spirit. Okay, Your Benevolence. How about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte? Very well. If you succeed. Oh, I will. Just you watch. O spirit of trust in me, slumbering in the Twilight Realm, return now to the world of the living. What is this place? Oh my. No, this cannot be. Hakuna Matata! It's the High Priest. The accused really can channel spirits. I don't believe it. The accused's spiritual power is the real deal. Go, Maya! I do not understand. This cannot be. This simply cannot be. I must step out before I forget myself. Abbot in me. Would this be the Twilight Realm? And what of this? This luxurious mane of hair. It is perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for decades of faithful service. Abbot in me? My, but if it isn't His Majesty, have you too shuffled off that mortal coil? Please do not count me among the dead. It is you who has passed on. But the spirit medium Maya Fey has brought you back among us today. Why, Acolyte Fey has mastered this secret art of spirit channeling? I suppose that explains these gorgeous locks. When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with a full head of hair. Though it be for the briefest of moments. I give thanks for this splendid I don't know what that is. Praise be to the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my tastes, if you'd excuse me. There, that is better. Could we get to his testimony now? Or should he keep his top on? Why, you are that foreign lawyer that people speak of as of late. And is this not the Hall of Justice? Why, have I been summoned here? You better put his shirt back on before Maya comes back, Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest. But you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you testify on your behalf? I have been accused of murder? That is troubling indeed. What's with that crazy pose? Is this really cause for such astonishment? Even the lowliest among us can achieve such a body control with the proper training. Oh, I wonder if all of you will be able to do that someday. Will the defense please explain the situation to the High Priest? I'd be happy to. Your disciple Prazealot has been murdered. It happened on the day before the Purification Rite. And the crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum. Acolyte Zealot, he has been killed? Who would have done such a thing? Someone who knew of the hideout, and had access to the inner sanctum. In other words, you, Abbot in me. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Oh dear. That's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything. The High Priest is amazing. To think he had mastered such an advanced prayer pose. He's still worthy of our veneration, even if he is a rebel. Praise be to the Holy Mother. Praise be to the Holy Mother. Oh my, have my rebel allegations been exposed? Not even my wife knew of that. It seems to rest in peace is not my fate. Why did you, a devout priest of Kuranism, join the rebellion?
Objection.
The High Priest has come back to us for but a brief time, Defense. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing of questions? Oh, right. Abbot Enmy, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zealot to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the rite. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, my memory's a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember?
Objection!
The High Priest says his memory is hazy. It is all coming back to me. It is as the prosecutor saw might have concluded. I was slain by none other than Maya Fey. The High Priest's statement has proven my assertions with regards to his murder correct. But what about Acolyte Zealot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you? I know not about my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have an alibi of my own. An alibi? Seriously? It seems the testimony the defense had been hoping for is working against him. Now, Abbott and me, your testimony, if you please. Yes. Yes, of course. I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the riot, I was entertaining guests at my home. And I believe my guests can corroborate this. You had guests? Just past noon. That's right about the time Zealot was murdered. Are you sure about that? Absolutely. Come to think of it, Rafa told me about a spirit's memory. Spirit's memory is cut off the moment of death. So even a spirit that brought back centuries doesn't sense any gap in time. Between the moment of its death and the moment it's channeled? Yes. And yet, it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life. High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be the best angle of attack?
Hold it!
You use the word alibi as if it were second nature. Are you perhaps mocking me? Or is it perhaps the kingdom of Kurain itself you wish to ridicule? Come on, everyone and their grandma knows what alibi means. We're not a bunch of country bumpkins here. We have plenty of courtroom dramas on TV. Peace, 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 I say. Mr. Wright, would you care to clarify your last statement? Please, don't take it the wrong way. It's just alibi is a rather technical term for a priest to use so naturally. I assure you, I know how to use the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even I, High Priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments. Oh, I see. Still, he seems unusually calm and composed. It's almost as if he had prepped himself for something like this.
Hold it!
Guests? And you were entertaining them personally? That I was. We gathered around the table for a most enjoyable conversation. He said his guests could corroborate his alibi. That can't be good for our case. Are you sure that was the same day as the murder? Maybe you've misremembered. Do not doubt my mnemic faculties. I may have died, but my memory is up to that point are crystal clear. Sorry. It's pretty thin-skinned for a priest. Though I guess I should have known better than to doubt his memory. Yes. Yes, I know. Ah, there's nothing better than enjoying a JnLgame cuisine with dear friends. That way, everyone's breath becomes equally melodorous. Not entirely sure. Right. And I believe my guests can corroborate this.
Hold it!
And who exactly were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify. It was none other than His Majesty, along with his family. He couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. My, how his daughter has grown. Wait a second. Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbot Emmy. Lady Emmy's cooking simply cannot be beat. So there you have it. When exactly was His Majesty at your home? He was there from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Indeed, precisely the time period within which Acolyte Zealot was slain. Yes, and we had a rousing chat concerning the game of... But... I'll just have to add that to the testimony. After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home.
Hold it!
Your Majesty, are you sure this testimony is completely accurate? As sure as sure can be. Oh, how wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admitted as evidence in court. His Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed this crime. How can you be so sure? What if the clock or watch you were using was off? Or you misread the time? There was a clock right near the table, and it had the exact same time as my watch. Now, do you understand, lawyer? As you can see, my alibi is airtight. Or do you still think I could have killed Acolyte Zealot? His Majesty is a witness. Are you satisfied now? There isn't a single discrepancy in Abbot Enemy's alibi. If I give up now, it's all over. Now hold on a second. Is there anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony? This could be one of those shitty things. There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony. There is? Well then, perhaps you could explain what it might be. This is what is wrong with his testimony. The prayer feast was short, he's too friendly with the judge, he knew the time of the crime. But yeah, we haven't told him yet, right? After Abbot Enemy was channeled, no one ever stated what time Acolyte Zealot was murdered. Now that you mention it, despite that, you claim to have an alibi from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That means you knew Acolyte Zealot was dead. When you were still alive! Wait, I think I saw something just now. No, I must be imagining things. So tell me, how did you know what time the crime had been committed? About that. Open your heart, let the Holy Mother in. Why, we've been blessed with the High Priest's sacred words of prayer. All who serve Her Holiness must strive to banish worldly desires from their souls. Open your hearts, and let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed and something. I feel as if my very soul has been cleansed. Can't fool me. Prayer may banish worldly desires, but it doesn't make a contradiction disappear. How can you be so sure? What's that supposed to mean? This lawyer seems to think little of the power of Koreanist prayer. Huh? Abbot Enemy was at home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained thusly. He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home. What? You never cease to amaze, Prosecutor. As he surmised, there was a listening device installed at the hideout. It enabled me to instantly learn of anything unusual even while I was not there. Remember, the rebels had been using this as a top-secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such an apparatus. Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout, there's something under the banner. A microphone? What's this doing here? Was someone trying to record something with it? That was a listening device. It starts recording whenever it detects movement. And I heard just such a recording after His Majesty and his family left. If you look in the desk in my study, you will find the tape in question. Alright then. Bailiff? Yes, Your Majesty. Go retrieve the tape in question from the High Priest's home. At once, Your Majesty. The power of Kuranist's prayer. Even a putrid brain such as you should understand it now. It's like the contradiction really did vanish. We shall ascertain the content of the recording once we have the tape. In the meantime, I would ask Abbot Emmy to continue with his testimony. Very well. I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. After that, there was a loud noise, followed by a haunting silence. I have to find some way to attack his alibi. If only Maya were here. She has a way of putting me at ease. But seeing her like this is only creeping me out. Though the High Priest was a rebel, he was still a Kuranist's holy man. Therefore, take care in your questioning, lest you invoke the ire of our people. How dare he suspect the High Priest? May the Holy Mother strike him blind. As if this wasn't hard enough already. Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth. I can already see a contradiction coming up. But maybe not. He's entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred.
Hold it!
You were entertaining His Majesty and his family during the crime? Indeed. My wife Believe was treating them to her wonderful home cooking. Your wife was there that day? Why yes, she was in the kitchen cooking up a storm the entire time. Come to think of it, I don't think I saw her all that day. She takes her culinary duties most seriously, you see. That is why she was in the kitchen cooking without pause the entire day. So the judge never saw Miss Enemy. Should I have Abbot Emmy add that statement to his testimony? Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish.
Hold it!
What was your wife making that day? The menu that day featured... They are both traditional Kuranist dishes. Kuranist. Can't even begin to imagine what those are. Ah, yes! The exquisite zest of the something, and the supreme texture of the whatever. Lady Enemy's cooking that day was utterly unforgettable. Shit. Thank you. It brings me great joy to know you enjoyed our meal. Now, once His Majesty and his family had left... When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling.
Hold it!
You heard everything from a recording? Indeed. Each night, I would secretly check what the listening device had recorded. I would have been in serious trouble with my lovely wife had she discovered my secret. Can you really tell what happened by the audio alone? Long years of aesthetic training have sharpened my hearing. It is but a small matter for me to ascertain a situation by the sounds I hear. Practicing Koreanist improves your hearing? Hearing is but one of the senses it can improve. If one can focus on and attain inner peace, all 5 senses can be sharpened. Why, the warbad over in the bazaar just cried. Did you not hear it? Give me a break. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye.
Hold it!
Hold on. Are you sure about those voices? Was it really Acolyte Zealot and Miss Faye? I'd say that was the most reasonable conclusion under the circumstances. Or perhaps Acolyte Faye has an alibi that you can prove. I'm afraid not. Then I suggest you make it like a mollusk and clam up. Now, I will continue my testimony if I may. After that, there was a loud noise followed by a haunting silence.
Hold it!
A loud noise? I'd say that's worth looking into. It was a terrible crashing sound. Poor Acolyte Zealot. He must have felt so heavy. Must have been the sound of that stone slab falling over. Should I have him add that to his testimony? Yeah, we never told him how he died. Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. I would describe the noise as a terrible crash. Poor Zealot. He must have felt so heavy.
Hold it!
You believe the terrible crash is connected to Acolyte Zealot's death? Yes. The sound, no doubt, was poor Zealot's death now. Such a tragedy, for he was a fine disciple. I would ask all here today, give a prayer for his departed soul. I had high hopes for that young man's future. Why do I feel like such a jerk for just trying to do my job right now? Mr. Wright. Do you still feel the need to question the High Priest? His alibi is as tight can be. This isn't going so well. I'd better ask him something else. I'm curious, Abert and me. Did you stop by the rebel hideout after His Majesty left? Yes, I thought it would be wise to assess the situation. But as I said before, there was nothing to see. The hideout appeared as it always had. And the victim's body? It was nowhere to be found. Acolyte Faye must have already disposed of it, and anything else incriminating. So, when you saw the rebel hideout, it looked like it does in this photo? Yes, I would say that is how it appeared that day. So the stone slab had been put back in its put back in place. Mr. Wright, is it not time to concede defeat? No, wait, I just need a little more time. If you insist. And just in case, I'm going to end it Okay. Is it that... Is it that there would be no way for Maya to have been able to lift the stone slab back up because it's really heavy? And that it should just have been knocked down? That's all I can think of.
Objection!
Alright, I guess so. Albert and me, you said, and I quote, "Poor zealot, you must have felt so heavy." Why do you think he felt something heavy? So the hideout looked as it did in the photo. If so, there's nothing that would lead you to believe he had experienced a heavy feeling. The fact is, of course, a stone slab did fall over onto Acolyte Zealot, impaling him on the Warbod statue behind him. But that was only revealed through her Benevolence Divination seance earlier. Will the defense please get to the point? My point is, simply hearing a crashing sound shouldn't have automatically led him to conclude the victim was crushed to death. Still, I don't see your point. I'm saying that the High Priest knew. He knew how the victim was really killed. Why? Okay. So that is the point that I brought up. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say, like, how did he... Maybe, I don't know. And that is information only the real killer could have known. I definitely saw it that time. Got the High Priest's spirit shaking in his boots, or should I say sandals. Need I remind you, Abbot Inmi was with his Majesty at the time of the crime? Such an alibi precludes him from being the killer. That's not true, so he can't be the killer. That's true, so he can't be the killer. However, he knew how Zealot was killed, something only the killer could know. Can this discrepancy be resolved somehow? Well, Mr. Wright, we're waiting for an explanation. His wife was in on it too. I was just getting to that. Time to think of something quick. The High Priest knew something only the killer could have known because he heard it during the trial, he inferred it after the fact, he heard it from the real culprit. He must have heard how the victim died from the real killer. The real killer? Of course. That makes perfect sense. I don't want to believe it, but this is the only possible explanation. So tell us, who is this real killer? It's gotta be someone close to the High Priest, someone without an alibi. The person most likely to be Zealot's killer is...
Take that!
Your Majesty, while you were visiting the High Priest's home, you didn't see Miss Inmi at all, did you? No, I never saw her, but... What does that have to do with anything? Did the High Priest ever leave your sight? No, we were talking the entire time. After the food was brought right over to the room's entryway, and the food was brought right to the room's entryway. So the High Priest has an ironclad alibi. But his wife does not. What the devil are you insinuating? I'm insinuating that Miss Enemy might have killed Acolyte Zealot.
Objection.
You have a lot of nerve making such a baseless allegation. She had no motive to kill Acolyte Zealot. He was like family to her. No. We cannot entirely discount the idea. Especially if you consider that Miss Enemy could have been the one posing as Lady Kira.
Objection.
Even a fool must temper his foolishness at times. Or do you truly believe that Lady Kira would kill Acolyte Zealot, though he was not a rebel?
Objection.
As we all know, the High Priest was secretly a rebel. It would follow that his favorite disciple could very well be a rebel too. Are you suggesting that Miss Enemy killed her husband as well? As sad as it is to think she'd kill her own husband to rid the kingdom of rebels, I don't think we can rule it out. You claim my wife is that rebel-hunting Lady Kira? And that she slew both Zealot and myself? My lovely wife? That is utterly impossible. I have never seen the High Priest so angry. It is as Albert Enemy stated. And the accused has already been found guilty of his murder. It is far too late to overturn it. That's right, Mr. Wright. Now apologize to the good priest before he gets angry again. Quickly now. No, I'm not going to apologize. The true identity of Lady Kira is a major piece of this trial's puzzle. Admit it, Albert Enemy. Your wife, Lady Enemy, killed you. Yet, even now, you continue to lie in an effort to protect her. How absurd! It appears the lawyer has forgotten. My lovely wife could not possibly battle the rebels in guise of Lady Kira. For we were blessed by her holiness, and she is with child. Praise be to the Holy Mother. I completely forgot about that. I did too. That abominable Lady Kira figure who slew me and Acolyte Zealot was the accused. This is bad, but I can't give up now. Don't forget, my client doesn't have the strength to fight rebels either. How could a weak young woman like her possibly... You foolish oaf of a lawyer. If only you were as blessed as Lady Enemy. What? Surely the accused possessed the strength, or should I say, the power. The power to battle those blackened heart rebels. What are you talking about? My good prosecutor, I see you have come to the same conclusion as I. Such keen insight. Then you have figured it out as well, Albert Enemy. May I ask you to explain it to this putrid-brained lawyer? Certainly, for I cannot allow him to frame my lovely wife for murder. Foreign devil! Your Majesty, allow me to testify as to how Maya Fey is that murderous Lady Kira. Well, if it would assuage... I don't know how to say this. Assuage? Okay, I'm not sure. Actually, I want to look that one up. Okay. I've heard the word before. I know I have.
Assuage.
Assuage. Okay, got it. By all means, please testify. Acolyte Fate channeled Lady Kira's spirit. She is a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. So, it was the real Lady Kira who returned to root out the rebels among us. She attacked and killed me with a strength far beyond any mortal woman. But... do you understand now? Murder by spirit channeling explains everything. This is the only way the accused could have defeated one rebel after another. Indeed, I am a living, or should I say dead, proof of her terrible power. Maya's ability to channel spirits. Let's come back to haunt her. Now, is it not time to let it go and move on, Defense? No, never. I'll never give up. Now what? Think. Think. How can I prove that Maya couldn't have channeled Lady Kira? Oops. My clan channel Lady Kira? Isn't that a little far-fetched? Far-fetched, you say? Why, the very fact that I am here proves she has the power to channel spirits. But you're no proof she actually channeled Lady Kira. Oh, but I do. Or you have. You've... She is a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. Ahahaha! While it's true she may be capable of channeling Lady Kira, I doubt there's any proof she actually did. We are talking about the infamous rebel hunter here. That modern-day Lady Kira has captured many a rebel all by herself. Among them have been more than a few great warriors. Who, but the real Lady Kira, could have accomplished such a feat? It would be difficult for a mere mortal. That leaves the real Lady Kira of legend as the only likely answer. Indeed. Is this not proof enough that the real Lady Kira of legend had been channeled? The real Lady Kira of legend. That's an oxymoron if I ever heard one. Then again, the people of Kurain believe legends to be true. So it was Lady Kira who returned to rout the evil. She knows her real name, but she doesn't know her face, right? Because you have to know her face as well. I'll back off on that for now, and just go to the next thing. I don't know if I have anything really to point towards that she always wears a mask, so you can't actually know what her face looks like. Lady Kira is an actual person? Do you really believe there was ever a woman that powerful? One capable of battling rebels much bigger and stronger than herself? There is no way to prove that. But to doubt the existence of Lady Kira is to doubt Kurainism itself. It is not for us to question. We must simply believe. Yeah, how dare you doubt our legends. You'll regret saying that, you piece of shit. Lady Kira's gonna strike you down.